friends, my name is Kayla Rayne, and today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. So it is now 2016, and I'm sure many other people have set some resolutions. Maybe you're decluttering your life a little bit. I know I am. And for me, that meant getting rid of some books that I just didn't think needed to have a place on my shelves anymore. So I do want to go ahead and put it out there that if any of these books are books that you guys really love and you just can't believe that I'm throwing them away, this is nothing personal against you. They just didn't work out for me, and they're not books that I would necessarily recommend to others, so I really don't have a reason to have them on my shelf. So I'll just jump right in. First off, I'm going to be getting rid of My Name is Memory by Anne Brashares. I love Anne Brashares as a writer, and I really adore the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series. So when I picked this up, I was pretty disappointed at how flat it kind of fell for me, and I know that I'm not going to be rereading this. I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone, so there's not really a point to have it on my shelf, even though I adore the author. Next, I will be getting rid of Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. I got into this book by just 3 or 4 chapters and decided to DNF it. And I very rarely DNF a book because it has to be pretty bad for me to decide that I'm not even going to give it a chance to redeem itself. But some of the themes that are discussed even in the beginning of the book seem problematic to me, and it just worried me, and I didn't really want to waste my time on a book that I was already having a lot of issues with personally, so I decided that I was going to DNF it and definitely just take it away from my shelves because there's no reason for me to own this book. I will also be getting rid of The Merciless by Daniel Vega. I don't really know much about this book anyway. I bought it on a whim because I thought the cover was really gorgeous, and I'm not even like a huge fan of pink. I just liked kind of the naked book cover and then the gold design. It just kind of spoke to me. The production was really nice on this book, and it has like nice little like beveled pages, but it has been on my shelf for such a long time, so I just couldn't justify having it anymore because I'm just not interested in reading it. It's a pretty book, but I'm probably never going to pick this up. I would much rather trade it into my local used bookstore so someone who is going to read it can pick it up, and then I can get some trade credit for some books that I will actually read. I am going to be getting rid of Looking for Alaska by John Green, not because I didn't like this one, but because I have a hardback edition of this, so I really don't see a point in having 2 copies on my library shelf. I do lend books out, so I know a lot of people have 2 copies of their favorite books so they can lend out, but the few people that I do trust enough to borrow my books are really responsible with them, so I don't really need to have 2 copies. And I will also be getting rid of Paper Towns by John Green because I just really did not enjoy this. If you want to know a little bit more about my reasons, I will link a video that I did a collaboration with Marinez from My Name is Marinez, and you can hear all about how much I dislike that book, among some other books that some people did not like in the year 2015. I am also going to be getting rid of Devilish by Maureen Johnson. I read this year after I purchased it from Book Outlet. This is a book that I really enjoyed in high school, and I wanted to see if it kind of lived up to how much I enjoyed it in high school, and it did not. For me, this book just kind of fell flat the second time I read it, so I know that I'm not going to go in for a third reread, because if I didn't enjoy it as much on the second time around, then there's not really much of a point to have it in my collection. And finally, the big controversial unhaul of the video, and I have debated back and forth about this one, but I've decided that this particular book series I don't really have an interest in continuing on with, so there's no point for me to have the first 3 in the series on my shelf, and that is Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. And I know that this is a very much beloved series on BookTube, and I found that it was okay. I gave it a pretty average rating of 3 stars across the board. I think I gave Heir of Fire 4 stars, but after I really thought about it, it was more because the ending kind of had a shocker that I was just kind of reeling, wanting to know what happened next. It wasn't so much that it was just really fantastic writing. So I just couldn't see myself dedicating any more time to this series because the 4th book is huge, and there are still 2 more books after that, and while I really enjoy the world building in this book series, I didn't very much care for the characters, and I'm just not inclined to care what happens to them because I'm not attached to them. So for anyone who loves the series, I'm very sorry I didn't love it as much as you guys, but I just decided I will bring it to my local used bookstore, and hopefully someone else can get some enjoyment out of this book series because I did not. Okay guys, that has been it for this video. I just want to go ahead and let anyone know who is curious. I have already gotten rid of these books by the time this video goes up, so please don't ask in the comment section below if I can send any of them to you, because they're gone. They're long gone by now. But yeah, I just decided I needed to clear some space on my shelves for other books that I wanted, and hopefully these books will find a new home where they will be cherished and loved and well read. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.